Ever wondered why the Gaetjens report hasn't seen the light of day?
Well, here's your answer.
We are joined by Jane Hume. There's conflicting stories from inside your government. After Brittany Higgins raised her concerns, people inside the government that you were a part of, there were questions asked. Phil Gaetjens asked those questions. We've never seen that report. Do you think it should be released?
Well, of course, the inquiry was disbanded, and it was disbanded intentionally because the police made it very clear that any findings of that inquiry would potentially prejudice a case.
But just because it's finished,
it was disbanded.
If it wasn't finished, that doesn't change
you're asking
whether or not
to
you
release,
can ask a question.
But you're asking to release the findings of a report that doesn't exist. It was the findings of an inquiry that was ceased.
So you don't think it should be released?
Well, there's nothing to release, Raf.
Well, you might have made queries about when people heard things. You might have asked queries about who emailed who. Well, if you're so keen for transparency, no.
But there's still so many things going on at the moment, and you know that. I mean, there are processes currently looking at these issues. There's an inquiry into the criminal trial,
yes,
and that's partly because of the public commentary around them.
There's nothing Phil Gaetjens gathered that's going to have any impact on an inquiry in the ACT about a criminal trial. If you're keen for transparency, isn't it hypocritical to demand answers from Labor but not be okay with us finding out what happened inside your government?
Well, hang on. Can we be very clear that what we're asking for from Senator Gallagher is to clarify what she told the Senate. Sure. That's all. Whether she has misled the Senate.
I understand your request.
What you're asking for, though, is to see the results of an inquiry that didn't proceed, and it didn't proceed because there were criminal investigations.
Well, you're either interested in transparency or not, no?
Well, I think that it's false equivalence. Of course we're interested in transparency, but if there is a criminal proceeding underway, well, then surely you don't want whatever the Parliament is doing to prejudice that.
These events happened in 2019, Nat, and there has been a report that has never been released about what Scott Morrison knew, what his office knew at the time, what Linda Reynolds, the employer of this young woman, knew at the time.
In fact, the report you're talking about was ceased. There is no report.